So if you've ever been sober curious, as the kids these days are calling it, or if you've been stuck in your weight loss efforts and can't figure out why, let me give you 6 reasons to consider or reconsider your alcohol intake. Do you struggle to maintain weight loss but desperately want to feel good in your own skin, confident in your clothes, and improve your overall health? If so, you're home. Hey, I'm Sam, dietitian, specialist in weight management, and former functioning fat girl. I learned the secret of how to lose and maintain weight by simply nourishing my life well. If you're ready for the sustainable nutrition strategies, consistent habits, and freedom from a self-sabotaging mindset, grab your water bottle and let's go. You are receiving such great nuggets of value from the More Than a Number podcast that you can apply to your daily habits and health goals. But if you know you need a higher touch to help you on your journey, an accountability partner to keep you focused on your goals, investigate the simplest solutions to eliminate the overwhelm of being stuck like Chuck with your weight loss attempts, and an expert to help you wade through the weeds of the 10 tons of health and nutrition information from the interwebs that may or may not be beneficial for you, I have great news. I am currently accepting one-on-one coaching clients for my 90 Days to Nourish Well program, where we eliminate the weight overwhelm and get you to start achieving long-lasting results. If that sounds like what you need, click the link in the show notes, my friend, to sign up and start moving towards your goals. I can't wait to meet you. Okay, let's dive into today's episode. Many moons ago, I woke up immediately feeling the weight of a pounding headache. My eyelids struggled to fully open because they were still caked in the previous night's makeup. My lashes bonding together, not wanting to separate. My throat scratchy from the cotton mouth that results after a night of chain smoking cigarettes. Before my eyes had even fully opened, I could feel the heavy wave of regret, disappointment, guilt, and utter shame fall upon me. Unfortunately, it was a familiar feeling. Once I had finally opened my eyes, I realized I wasn't even in my bed. I was on my couch, fully clothed, shoes and all. And not only was I covered in shame, but I was also covered in ground meat, cheese, and lettuce. Surrounded by an empty Taco Bell bag, 3 empty cheesy gordita crunch wrappers, and what appeared to be the remnants of the 4th cheesy gordita crunch I clearly didn't finish before passing out on my couch. This is not easy to talk about, friends. I feel, even though I'm sitting here by myself, I feel very vulnerable talking about it because I know you all are going to hear it. These were not my best moments. I would love to tell you that this was the first and only time I woke up with the evidence of a food binge I didn't even remember having, but sadly, it was not. There is really never a time in my life that I wasn't highly aware of my, I guess you would call it, problem with food. When I was little, I didn't have the right verbiage to describe it. I didn't know they were quote unquote binges, and I didn't know the word addiction. But I always knew that my relationship with food was not what you would call normal. When I got older and was introduced to alcohol, or I shouldn't say that I introduced alcohol into my life, I think maybe on some level I knew that I was drinking to cope the way that I was eating to cope, but it took me way too long to truly admit it and accept that the drinking part of it was a problem. Brene Brown, if you don't know who she is a renowned researcher. She studies guilt and shame, vulnerability, courage, empathy. Her work, in my opinion, is fantastic. You can look up her TED Talk. She has, I think, even a Netflix special, and all of her books, in my opinion, are incredible. Anyway, she described in one of her books that she felt strange talking about her decision to stop drinking alcohol because she kind of felt torn between two worlds. I'm obviously paraphrasing here because this was years ago that I read the book, and the essence of what she said hit so close to home that it stuck with me this whole time. I just don't remember her exact words. So it was something to the effect that, she said she went to some AA meetings and just didn't really feel like she belonged there because to everyone else there, she wasn't really an alcoholic. And yet she knew her drinking was a problem and she could no longer be a normal, like 1 or 2 drinks drinker. Does that make sense? At the time, I still drank alcohol, but I knew exactly what she meant and felt it deep within my soul. I was never, ever the one to just, wake up and feel like I had to have alcohol to function. I never hid bottles in random places in my house. And I wasn't even ever one to drink every day, like you see on, TV and in the movies. And I actually have worked in recovery for the majority of my career. And, you see all of these other people that literally are drinking from the moment they're up until the moment they pass out again. I was never like that. I could go days and even weeks without having any alcohol and be totally fine. But when I drank, I drank. And when I drank, I also ate a lot. Whether it was at the beginning of a drunken night or hungover the next day or both. Binge eating was connected to the binge drinking. Not to mention, the second I started drinking, I also wanted to chain smoke, which we should all know is no bueno for a multitude of reasons. I could spend hours going into the overall health problems of, excessive drinking and what it can cause, the many psychological reasons we cope with alcohol, or the potential very dangerous situations we can get ourselves into when we abuse alcohol. But for the purposes of this episode, we're just going to focus on the potential negative implications on our weight loss journeys. And, when you're waking up with a deconstructed cheesy gordita crunch strewn about your chest and abdomen alongside 3 other empty wrappers, that can't be helpful to a weight loss journey, right? Right. Please say right. Now, before we continue, I want to make it clear that I am not at all saying nobody should ever drink any alcohol. I totally understand that there are many people that do not drink to the extent of a cheesy gordita crunch on their chest. Although, now that I'm 3 years and 9 months sober, it's so exciting. Can't even believe it's been that long. So 3 years and 9 months sober. I have been working in drug and alcohol recovery centers, like I said, for the majority of my career. And I have literally seen firsthand how utterly devastating of a ripple effect alcoholism has on both the addict as well as their friends and family. It is my staunch personal belief that alcohol truly is legal poison, and even in more like quote unquote normal amounts, it prevents all who consume from reaching their full potential of productivity. So no, I don't think that it's necessary or even helpful for anyone. But with that being said, Sure, can some people consume it in smaller amounts socially and be fine? Yeah. Can it still fit within your calorie deficit and not disrupt your weight loss goals? Yeah, it's possible. It just makes it a heck of a lot more difficult. So if you've ever been sober curious, as the kids these days are calling it, or if you've been stuck in your weight loss efforts and can't figure out why, let me give you 6 reasons to consider or reconsider your alcohol intake. Number 1, it can put you in a calorie surplus real quick. This may come as a shock, but guys, alcohol has calories. Calorie totals differ between the different types of alcohol. Some have more than others, but all alcohol has approximately 7 calories per gram. And when we get into different mixed drinks or fancy frozen concoctions, the calorie totals can be quite high. So you can easily add anywhere from 100 to more than 1,000 calories to your day just from a few drinks at dinner. Number 2, alcohol can spike your blood sugars, leading to that pesky blood sugar roller coaster we go on that can cause us to either crave more alcohol or more food. Number 3, alcohol lowers our inhibitions, which can lead to many different types of poor choices, but in particular can lead to, choosing foods that we wouldn't want when operating from, a clear, sober mindset. So, for example, you're going to a party, you've been hitting your daily goals, you're finally fitting into your clothes better, you're feeling good, and going into this party, you make a commitment to yourself that you're just going to have a plate of whatever protein and veggies they have at the party. You decide you're only going to have 2 glasses of wine, and that's it. But once you get to the party and the buzz of that first glass of wine hits, you're no longer operating from a clear mind, and you forget all about your commitment that you made to yourself. And the next thing you know, you're on your second plate of dessert and you're pouring your 4th glass of wine. Or let's say you're going out to dinner and going, while you're home getting ready, you're talking to yourself, you make that commitment to yourself that, okay, I'm going to order the, whatever the healthier meal is that they have there. You even look up the menu before you go and you choose, you're going to get the, salmon and the sweet potato, and you're only going to have a glass of wine or 2. But then you get to the restaurant, and of course they take the drink order first. So that first glass of wine comes, you start drinking the wine, you're opening the menu and you weren't even going to open it. You're looking at all the different things. The people that you're with are like, oh, let's order these appetizers. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. Because now you have that kind of buzz of that first glass of wine. They put the bread in front of you. You weren't going to eat the bread. Now you're eating the bread. And all of those commitments that you made to yourself kind of go out the window. Or third scenario, maybe you don't overeat at the party, or you do end up just getting the salmon at the restaurant. But by the end of the night, after you've maybe had the 2 glasses or more that you ended up having, you make that Taco Bell run on the way home and you wake up with the cheesy gordita crunch remnants everywhere. Listen, it happens to the best of us. Or you come home and just raid your kitchen. Like maybe you don't stop somewhere on the way home, but you have leftovers in your fridge and, chips in your cabinet or whatever. So you just come home and kind of raid the kitchen. All of those things can happen when our inhibitions are lowered and we're no longer in control of our decisions, at least as much in control of our decisions as we were. Okay. Number 4, alcohol, even in relatively like normal amounts. I know that's not really a thing. Like that's not really an amount, saying normal amounts, but a serving, is like one standard pour, which is 4 to 6 ounces of wine, let's say, for a woman, and 2 drinks for a man. So even in those like relatively normal amounts, let's just, just to make it more realistic, say like 1 to 2 drinks, that can still lead to a nasty hangover. And I will say that came with age as well for me. It used to be a long time ago where it would be like a really long, crazy, wild night, and then I would have a monster hangover. But it literally got to the point where even if I did only have that 1 or 2 glass of wine at dinner and then was quote unquote good and came home and went to bed or whatever, I still would wake up the next day feeling like flaming hot garbage. Why? Because alcohol completely disrupts our quality of sleep. Passing out is not the same as sleeping soundly. It initially acts as that sedative, and makes us sleepy and we pass out, but ultimately it decreases the amount of REM sleep, leading to increased daytime sleepiness because we're not actually rested. The quality of our sleep was, for lack of a better term, garbage. So then the next day, our cortisol levels are raised, which is our stress hormone. Our ghrelin, our hunger hormone, is up, and all we want to do is eat all the things all day. Greasy, carby, all the things. Hence, excess calorie intake. We're also exhausted and have no energy, so we typically will be much less active. So we're consuming more calories and we're doing a lot less activity, therefore eating more than we're burning and, putting us in a calorie surplus. So it can also lead to chronic insomnia. It can worsen sleep apnea. It can cause nightmares and sleepwalking. I didn't see anything. I looked for this, but I was wondering if there was a connection, not only sleepwalking, but sleep eating. That's a thing that certain medications, certain people can actually get up and eat in the middle of the night where they're like still sleeping. They don't even realize they're doing it. And then the next day they wake up and they've like eaten the kitchen and they don't even realize they're doing that. So I didn't see a connection there, but I wonder, if that can happen too. Maybe not. But either way, nightmares and sleepwalking, probably not good either. Okay, so number 5, alcohol can have detrimental effects on our gut health, most commonly leading to what we call leaky gut, which basically means that the walls or the lining of our intestines are damaged. And that damage allows toxins to escape out of the intestine and into the bloodstream, which can lead to a whole host of unpleasant GI symptoms like, gas and bloating and diarrhea, constipation, nausea, vomiting. It can, prevent weight loss. It can cause weight gain, all the things that are no bueno for a weight loss journey. Plus, it makes you feel like garbage. And then 6, the last thing that I want to highlight here, how alcohol negatively impacts our weight loss journey, is that most people drink alcohol because they think it's going to make them feel good. But actually, Alcohol is a depressant. It disrupts our brain chemistry. It interferes with mood-regulating neurotransmitters like our happy neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine, which can lead to a cycle of negative feelings and increased anxiety. And in people who are already struggling with some depression and anxiety, it can significantly impact those symptoms, making them, I don't know why I can't speak all of a sudden, making them much more severe. When we feel depressed, we don't feel like taking care of ourselves and therefore are less likely to make good food and exercise choices, right? Which obviously is not helpful on our weight loss journey. We no longer feel worthy of that journey. Choosing to go on a weight loss or a health journey is choosing to do better for yourself. You are making yourself a priority. You are making your health a priority. And you are regaining confidence within yourself and feeling worthy of better for your life. But when we're depressed and we're eating like crap and we're drinking like crap, then we don't feel worthy of that journey. All right? So none of those 6 things are great for us, right? Let's recap. If you're on a weight loss journey and your alcohol intake is minimal, like let's say less than 5 drinks a year, once in a blue moon on a holiday, you'll have a drink or, here or there, those people, then maybe it's not something that's holding you back from lifelong weight loss and weight maintenance. But if you drink fairly regularly, have also woken up to empty food wrappers around you after a night of drinking, have maybe been sober curious, or just no longer get any pleasure from drinking anymore, I would strongly, strongly encourage you to reconsider whether alcohol is something that you want to keep in your life. It has calories, and in some cases, or in specific types of drinks, it can have a lot of calories. It sends your body on a blood sugar roller coaster. It lowers your inhibitions and can cause excess calorie intake from binge eating. It results in poor sleep quality, leading to excess calorie consumption the next day and decreased movement. It can significantly damage gut health and lead to worsening depression or anxiety, none of which results in long-lasting weight loss. And friends, if you're anything like I was, struggling to get out of the cycle of binge drinking along with your binge eating, I am more than happy to talk to you, to pray for you, whatever you need. Please feel free to shoot me an email at sam@theanchorednutrition.com. The link to my email is also in the show notes. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You are worth it. You are worthy of a life lived to your fullest potential. You can do hard things. I love you. God loves you. Please have a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care of yourselves, guys. Hey, friend. I really hope you feel empowered by this episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with another friend who needs it? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It brings me so much joy to know this podcast is helping you. Okay, time to go nourish well, aka eat some good food. I'll meet you back here next time for another episode. I love you and God loves you. Have a beautiful day.